Every day you wake up, your mind begins speaking before you even open your eyes. Thoughts rush in, some lifting you higher, others trying to pull you down. But you have the power to choose which voice you listen to. And when you choose the right messages, spoken with faith, spoken with conviction, they become the strength that carries you through every hour of your day. Let these messages settle deep into your spirit, shaping not just how you think, but who you become. Tell yourself that you are not walking this journey alone. Even in the quiet moments when you feel unseen, unheard, or overwhelmed, there is a strength greater than yours holding you steady. You were not placed here by accident. You were created with intention, with purpose, with meaning. When you remind your heart of this truth every day, fears lose their grip and courage begins to rise within you. Speak the message of resilience into your spirit. Life will not always be gentle. It will shake you, stretch you, and press you. But you are built with the capacity to rise again. You have survived moments you thought would break you. You have walked through storms you once feared. When you remind yourself daily that you are stronger than yesterday, your spirit grows unshakable. Repeat the message of hope. Hope is the anchor that keeps you from drifting in the winds of fear and uncertainty. Hope is the quiet voice that whispers, there is more ahead. Even when the night feels long, hope teaches you that the morning is already on its way. And when you carry hope within you, no darkness has the power to destroy your light. Carry the message of forgiveness in your heart, not just for others, but for yourself. You are human. You stumble, you fall, you learn. Every mistake is a lesson, not a life sentence. When you forgive, you release the weight that keeps you from moving forward. And with that freedom, you step into each new day with a spirit cleansed and ready. Speak the message of gratitude. Gratitude opens your eyes to blessings you once overlooked. It shifts your heart from what is lost to what remains, from what is missing to what is possible. When you tell yourself each day to look for the good, you begin to see it everywhere, in small mercies, quiet moments, unexpected kindness. Gratitude softens the heart and strengthens the soul. Remind yourself of discipline. The greatest dreams require daily choices. The path of growth is built on small, faithful steps. Discipline is not punishment. It is direction. It is the act of telling your mind who is in control. And when you commit to discipline every day, you begin to shape a life guided not by emotion, but by purpose. Carry the message of love. Love for others, and yes, love for yourself. Love is the one force that cannot be defeated, cannot be exhausted, cannot be diminished by hardship. When you choose to speak and act in love, you become a source of healing in a world filled with wounds. Love lifts, restores, and strengthens more deeply than anything else. Speak the message of clarity. Remind yourself each day of what matters most. The world is loud, full of distractions and demands, but clarity is the compass that guides your steps. When your mind is fixed on what is true, what is right, what is meaningful, you walk with confidence and purpose. And every day, repeat the message of possibility. Tell yourself that your life is not limited by your past or defined by your fears. You were created with potential, with gifts, with a future waiting to be shaped. When you rise each morning believing that something good can happen, your actions begin to reflect that belief. And slowly, steadily, your life begins to transform. Speak these messages with conviction. Let them echo in your heart. Let them strengthen your thoughts, lift your spirit, and shape your days. For what you repeat daily becomes the foundation of who you are. The first that your life is not an accident and you are never walking this journey alone. There is a purpose behind your existence, a design woven into your days, even when you cannot see it clearly. Every breath you take, every challenge you endure, every opportunity you encounter is part of something bigger than coincidence. When you begin your day with this truth planted firmly in your mind, it changes the way you face everything ahead of you. You no longer see yourself as someone drifting through life. You begin to walk with intention, with confidence, and with a deeper sense of value. There are moments when you feel invisible, moments when your struggles seem unnoticed, and moments when the weight you carry feels heavier than you can bear. In those moments, it is easy to believe you are alone, but you are not. There is a presence, a strength beyond your own, holding you, guiding you, and keeping you steady, even when the ground beneath you feels uncertain. When you remind yourself daily that you are supported and seen, you stop relying solely on your own limited strength, and you begin to draw from a well of courage that never runs dry. Reminding yourself that you were created with purpose gives meaning to your challenges. It reframes your difficulties as preparation rather than punishment. The moments that stretch you are shaping you. The detours you face are redirecting you, not destroying you. The setbacks you experience are often the soil where future strength grows. When you believe your life carries purpose, you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this preparing me for? That shift transforms confusion into clarity and fear into faith. Knowing you are not alone also brings comfort in seasons of uncertainty. When the future feels unclear and your plans fall apart, you can still walk with confidence because you are guided by something greater than your own understanding. You may not know the entire path, but you are never abandoned on it. Each step you take, even the trembling ones, are supported by a strength that does not falter. This awareness gives you the courage to move forward when everything in you wants to turn back. This truth also strengthens your identity. When you remind yourself that you were created intentionally, you stop comparing yourself to others. You stop trying to meet the expectations of the world and begin aligning yourself with the purpose you were meant to fulfill. You understand that your gifts, your story, your struggles, and your strengths are uniquely yours for a reason. You were shaped for something meaningful, and no one else can live your purpose for you. Every day, when you rise and repeat this message to your spirit, you silence the lies that say you are insignificant, unworthy, or forgotten. You replace them with truth that affirms your place in this world, your value, and your destiny. When this truth becomes part of your daily mindset, you walk with steadiness, courage, and hope, knowing that your life is guided, your path is meaningful, and you are never walking it alone. Resilience is not built in moments of ease or comfort. It is shaped in the quiet battles no one sees, in the struggles you face when you feel weakest, and in the choices you make when your spirit is tired. Every time you rise after being knocked down, every time you push forward when part of you wants to quit, something powerful is being formed inside you. You are becoming stronger, deeper, and more grounded than you were before. Reminding yourself each day that you are stronger than your struggles gives you the courage to face life with a steadier heart. Life brings seasons that test your strength, disappointments that shake you, losses that wound you, setbacks that make you question your path. These moments can feel overwhelming, but they are not the end of your story. You have already survived days you thought you wouldn't. You have walked through pain you thought would break you. You have faced challenges that seemed impossible at the time, yet here you stand. This alone is proof that resilience lives within you. When you remind yourself of this truth, you begin to see your past not as a collection of pain, but as evidence of your strength. Resilience is not about pretending to be unhurt or unaffected. It is not about forcing yourself to be strong every second. It is about allowing yourself to feel the weight of life, yet choosing not to be defeated by it. It is the quiet resolve to keep moving even if your steps are slow. It is the belief that tomorrow can be better than today, even when today feels heavy. When you remind yourself daily that you can rise, you give yourself permission to grow, to heal, and to move forward with grace. Every challenge you face teaches you something. Hardship exposes your limits, but it also expands them. Difficulty reveals your weaknesses, but it also strengthens your core. When you push through struggles, you gain something far more valuable than comfort. You gain resilience, a quality that no circumstance can take away from you. This resilience becomes your inner armor, your unseen strength, your quiet confidence that no matter what comes, you will rise again. Believing you are stronger than your struggles also helps you face new challenges with greater courage. Instead of shrinking back in fear, you remember the battles you've already won. Instead of doubting your ability, you recall the storms you've already survived. This daily reminder reshapes your mindset from one of fear to one of faith, from one of helplessness to one of inner power. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as someone capable of overcoming them. And when setbacks come, and they will, resilience helps you stand back up with a wiser heart. You learn that being knocked down is not failure. Staying down is you discover that each time you rise stronger. You rise knowing more, enduring more, believing more deeply in your own capacity to overcome. When you repeat this message every day, it becomes more than a thought. It becomes part of who you are. You begin to live with the quiet confidence that nothing you face is bigger than the strength within you. You understand that resilience is not something you wait for. It is something you grow through every challenge, every tear, every step forward. Each day you remind yourself of this truth, you step into life with the courage of someone who knows they may be tested, but they will never be defeated. Growth happens in the subtle, often uncomfortable moments when you challenge your own limits and stretch beyond what feels familiar. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, even in the smallest ways, you invite possibilities that would never have existed otherwise. Many people stay within the boundaries of what they already know because it feels safe, predictable, and easy. But real transformation rarely happens in comfort. It happens when you take risks, when you choose curiosity over fear, and when you decide that becoming the person you want to be is worth more than staying where you are. Stepping outside your comfort zone doesn't always mean making grand, dramatic changes. Sometimes it's as simple as saying yes to a new experience, trying something you've never done, speaking up when you usually stay silent, or allowing yourself to be seen in your authenticity. These small acts slowly expand your world. They build bravery in layers, showing you that discomfort is not something to fear, but something to work with. With each step into the unfamiliar, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself, your strengths, your abilities, your potential. It is natural to feel fear when you move beyond what feels safe. Your mind is wired to protect you, to keep you in familiar territory where it believes you are less likely to be hurt or fail. But growth requires a different kind of safety, the safety that comes from trusting yourself. Trusting that even if things don't go perfectly, you will still be able to handle the outcome. Trusting that the risk is worth the learning. Trusting that you can adapt, improve, and rise stronger no matter what happens. When you step beyond your comfort zone, you are not abandoning safety. You are choosing a new form of it, one that is rooted in self-belief rather than predictability. The unfamiliar is where creativity flourishes. When everything around you is new, your mind awakens. You notice more, feel more, and think in ways you wouldn't have in routine settings. This openness brings opportunities, new people, new ideas, new paths that expand your sense of what is possible. You start to see that the world is wider than you imagined and that you are capable of more than you once believed. Sometimes all it takes is one brave choice to reveal a direction you never knew existed. Stepping outside your comfort zone also teaches resilience. When you face something new, you might stumble or make mistakes. You might feel awkward or uncertain, but each challenge strengthens you. It shows you that discomfort is temporary and growth is lasting. Over time, the things that once intimidated you become easier, even natural. What was once outside your comfort zone becomes part of your expanded self. This is how confidence is built, not by avoiding fear, but by walking through it until it no longer controls you. Every experience outside your comfort zone adds depth to your life. It shapes your character, expands your understanding, and builds inner strength. You begin to trust your ability to learn, adapt, and flourish. You realize that discomfort is not a barrier, but a doorway. Each time you step through it, you leave behind an old version of yourself and move closer to the person you are becoming. Through this continuous stretching, you uncover a life that is richer, fuller, and more aligned with your true potential. Gratitude and forgiveness are two of the greatest forces you can carry within your heart because they release you from the weight that tries to drag you down. Gratitude shifts your eyes from what is missing to what is present, turning ordinary moments into blessings and opening your spirit to see goodness even in difficult seasons. When you begin each day with a grateful heart, you choose to acknowledge that life is more than your burdens, that there are still moments of beauty woven into the routine of your days. Gratitude softens your outlook, fuels your resilience, and reminds you that you have received more than you often realize: strength, breath, opportunity, people who care, lessons that shaped you, and countless small gifts that go unnoticed when the mind is consumed with worry or frustration. Forgiveness, on the other hand, frees space in your heart that bitterness tries to occupy. Holding on to resentment may feel justified for a moment, but over time it becomes a heavy chain that stops you from moving forward. Forgiving someone does not mean you approve of what they did or pretend the hurt never happened. It simply means you refuse to let the pain control your peace. It is choosing to be released from the grip of the past so you can walk unburdened into your future. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself, your mistakes, your failures, your regrets. But self-forgiveness is part of healing, part of allowing yourself to grow instead of punishing yourself for the moments you were learning. Both gratitude and forgiveness reshape how you relate to the world. When you practice gratitude, the small joys become clearer. The warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter, the quiet moments of rest, the guidance of someone who believes in you. You begin to see these moments not as coincidences, but as reminders that life still holds goodness. Gratitude lifts your emotional weight, gives you perspective, and anchors you even when challenges rise around you. It becomes a shield that protects your mind from negativity and helps you respond to life with clarity instead of fear. Forgiveness does something equally powerful. It restores a sense of lightness to your spirit. The anger you let go of creates room for inner peace. The wounds you release create space for healing. The resentment you surrender opens a path to deeper strength and emotional freedom. You are no longer bound to the actions of others, nor to the mistakes of your past. Forgiveness is an act of courage because it requires vulnerability, humility, and the willingness to let your heart heal. But once you choose it, it becomes an act of strength. When gratitude and forgiveness work together, they transform your inner world. Gratitude fills you with appreciation for the present, while forgiveness frees you from the past. Together, they help you move through life with clearer eyes and a lighter heart. They allow your mind to focus on growth, your spirit to rest in peace, and your days to be lived with greater purpose. Through them, you learn that true strength is not found in holding on tightly, but in releasing what no longer serves you and embracing the blessings that surround you every day. Daily discipline and clarity are quiet forces, but they shape your life more than almost anything else. Every action you take, every decision you make, every habit you repeat, these are the building blocks of your future. People often imagine success as one dramatic moment of breakthrough, but most of the time it is the result of small, consistent choices made long before anyone notices. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about persistence. It is doing what aligns with your purpose even on the days you feel unmotivated, tired, or uncertain. When you learn to honor your commitments to yourself, you build a foundation of trust within your own mind. You begin to believe that you can follow through, that you are capable, that you can rely on your own consistency. Clarity works hand in hand with discipline. When you know who you are, what you want, and where you're going, your choices become simpler and your direction becomes stronger. Without clarity, discipline feels like a burden. But with clarity, discipline becomes a natural expression of your purpose. It becomes the internal compass that keeps you moving, even when distractions try to pull you off course. Clarity removes the noise. It reminds you that not every opportunity is meant for you, not every voice deserves your attention, and not every path leads to the life you're trying to build. It teaches you the power of saying no to wasted time, to destructive habits, to anything that dilutes your progress. When you combine discipline and clarity, you create a rhythm that elevates your entire life. You wake with intention. You move with purpose. You act with focus. You no longer drift through your days hoping something changes on its own. You become the one who changes it. And something remarkable happens when you live this way. The world begins to open up to you. Doors appear where there were none. Opportunities come into view. And the person you become through discipline is the person capable of receiving them. Staying disciplined doesn't mean you will never struggle. There will be days when motivation fades, when doubt rises, when setbacks test your resolve. But discipline isn't the absence of difficulty. It is the ability to continue despite it. Each day you keep going, you strengthen your mental resilience. Each small step you take, you rewire your mind to believe in progress rather than perfection. Over time, those steps compound. What once felt difficult becomes normal. What once felt impossible becomes achievable. Clarity also deepens over time. As you learn more about yourself, your strengths, your passions, your values, you refine your direction. You stop chasing goals that don't align with your spirit. You stop comparing yourself to others. You begin to pursue what actually matters to you, not what the world expects. Clarity becomes the filter that keeps your life aligned, and discipline becomes the engine that moves it forward. Together, discipline and clarity create a life guided by intention rather than impulse. They help you make decisions rooted in purpose instead of emotion. They give you control over your time, your energy, and your destiny. When you commit to daily discipline and cultivate deep clarity, you don't just hope for a better life. You build it, shape it, and grow into it one meaningful choice at a time.